Hello, Margot.
We have a surprise guest today.
Are you happy to be home from Abu Dhabi? Oh, bless her.
It was really funny. I said to Mum, I was thinking, I wonder if she thinks I'm home. I kept going to her, you're home now. You're home.
They must
But I don't
know. You should have seen Edward. It was so funny. Obviously, because Edward's a little bit older, isn't he? So he's more understands. And when we walked indoors, it was quite dark. So we switched all the lights on, and he literally was like wide-eyed, staring in every single room. And because he must have thought I'm home now. There's my toy corner. There's my bits. Yeah, I know where I am.
Bless him.
We had the best time. The holiday was amazing. Don't you think that when you get home, you're like, I'm home.
As soon as you walk through the door.
Yeah.
You think, right, I'm home. I think the thought of going home, the last couple of days, we was like, we don't want it to end. But then when we landed, back in London, I thought, I just want to be home now. And then I'll feel like we're home.
That's it. Yeah, and then you can just crack on and you've got work to do. You can get unpacked. You can get organised. I think that's the whole point of a holiday, isn't it? Because when we're all out there, you have to forget all that, don't you? Forget the everyday routine. And that's what a holiday is about. But where should we start? Should we start from the beginning? How was Margot? Sorry, Margot, darling. Margot, how was your first flight? Let Mummy tell all the listeners how Margot was on her first flight.
Well, I hate to be smug, but she was actually amazing. I was so nervous because I think you just always worry about their ears, don't you, when they're this little. I just thought, I hope she's all right taking off. And what I did, I sort of stretched out her feed, so I made sure I was feeding her as we took off, but also I had the dummy, and I was she was trying to spit the dummy out, she wasn't interested, and I was trying to get her to keep sucking on the dummy. They do say it helps to equalise their ears as you're flying, and I always suffer with my ears, so I thought, but she was amazing. So going out there, I mean, she took over my seat, bless her, this tiny little lady. But she did take over my seat.
Edward.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can.
Oh, sorry, just to be clear, we wasn't actually on the same flight going out or coming home. So actually it's quite nice to have a catch up about the flights. So go on, carry on.
So she sat with me the whole time. She basically, I'd say she slept for probably a good 3.5, 4 hours. Woke up, had a little feed, had a little chat, was smiling, cooing. And then went back to sleep. She was so relaxed. I think it might have been the white noise, and she was completely, when she was in her deep sleep, I thought there's no way I'm moving her. I was crumpled on the edge of my seat, and the dinner service come round, and I was literally had the tiniest corner, sat there trying to eat some food, but I didn't care because I just thought as long as she's not screaming and crying, I'm all right.
That's all you care about. Did you get?
I'm happy.
They
to
always
stand.
offer. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And Did she sleep in the... Oh, no, she was on the bed. So you didn't put her in the bassinet, because they offer you a bassinet, don't they?
So we did have a bassinet. I put her in that. That lasted for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
She just wasn't interested. So I got her out again. And then she slept really well. I had all blankets with me, and I just made her a little bed on the chair.
Do you know what? We had the night flight, and I was kind of dreading that because only when you land, you kind of feel a little bit spaced out. But this time round, it worked really well for me because Paul and Rosie fell asleep straight away. They're kind of good flyers now anyway. You know what it's like when they get to their age.
Oh, with the older two, yeah.
Yeah. But then Edward really surprised me. So he slept for probably 5 hours of this, was it 6.5 going out, isn't it, to Abu Dhabi? I can't remember. Then it's 7.5 coming home, isn't it? Anyway, coming home, that boy did not want to sleep. So I feel like I'm still catching up from the flight today. So we all got home Sunday night, didn't we? Saturday night. Today's Monday. Oh, he fell asleep when we first got on the flight. I was like, oh, perfect, little relax. Woke up after about 45 minutes. And then I promise you, he was awake the whole flight until the last sort of half an hour before landing. In the end, I was like, I don't know what to do. No. There was a man next to me that was kind of shaking his head, but he was actually not shaking his head at Edward. He was shaking his head at Big Paul. So on the way home, it's so funny. So on the way home, Arsenal was on, it was quite a big game, and you can watch it live from the flight. And I think it was 2-0 down or something. Then we got 4, then we got 2 goals, then we got 3, then we ended up being 4-2 or something like that. So it was a real mad, intense game, but every time we were scoring, Paul was making this like really loud shout and like going, yeah, like get in, you know, like in the end I was like, you have to stop doing that. Like people were trying to relax and the man next to us was like, he was fuming about it. He was like really shaking his head. I think it made him jump.
That is hilarious.
Because I managed to keep Edward. Edward only had like one sort of crying period that only lasted about 10 minutes, I think. The rest of the time, it was just like trying to keep him
But that is,
amused.
I think that age, like 9-10 months, has got to be probably one of the hardest ages to fly because they're on the move.
That's it, constantly.
And they don't understand being restrained and then into one seat.
So you know where your feet are, obviously, where I emptied the bag of toys. He's not interested. Edward is not interested in his toys, by the way.
No, they want everything else but.
He is not interested in one toy that he owns. Don't you think they really quickly go from newborn sleeping all day to needing attention all day?
Oh, completely. Like this is what, we're going through like a little period where I don't think she really wants to be put down a lot at the minute.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. So our flight coming home was just, you just have to get through it though, don't you?
Well, Nelly and Arthur, neither of them slept at all, going out or coming home.
Oh, really?
Which I'm really surprised about. I don't know, they just didn't. And but Margot, she slept. She was a lot more awake coming home than what she was going out there. But she was good. She was fine. Like I was just basically bit of up and down and walking around, bit of sleep with her.
Right, okay, so I think we've covered the flight. Let's talk about the holiday. So we went back to Abu Dhabi. So Billie and I have both been there once before. But like we said before, this was actually our first holiday together with the kids and guys since your wedding.
I know. How mad is that? And think of how quick that's gone. And since
So
then, we've gained 2 extra children.
2 extra little people. But we had the best time, didn't we? I think
it was amazing. Brilliant.
Nothing quite beats being on holiday with your cousins and having all the freedom, and because they literally was just doing their own thing, wasn't they? All day and all night.
But also as well, it was just it was so funny because it was kind of like, well, Paul and Arthur, them two were just like inseparable, wasn't they?
Inseparable, yeah.
And then Rosie and Nelly, and then like they'd all come together as a group, wouldn't they? Like doing all the slides and everything and wandering around, going on their bike rides, going to the park. And then it was kind of like me, you and Mum with the 2 babies, wasn't it? And then the boys were kind of doing their thing.
The boys were dipping in and out of parenting.
Dipping in and out, wandering around doing what they want.
Exactly. But no, it was so fun. And do you know what? I just feel like they really did. You know, like you sort of remember when you're a kid, especially when you get to sort of like Nenny and Paul's age as well. We kind of just let them have the freedom, didn't we? Like in the hotel we was in, it was called the Emirates Palace, but we had slides in the hotel and there's like a kids pool. But it's just so safe out there. I just feel like, you know, there's security everywhere. It's one of those countries that just doesn't hardly have any crime. So we actually could relax a little bit. And I think where the 4 older ones can swim now, they were just sort of all running about swimming. But all the swimming pools were up to the hips, wasn't they? Like there was no deep swimming for the kids. And I just feel like all day they were just up and down them slides, going to the ice cream hut, getting ice cream. Like we did sort of let them just have the freedom.
It was really like some mornings they'd come over. I remember one morning, I think it was Paul and Arthur had been over to your bed and said to you, oh, can we have an ice cream? And I think you'd said, I'm not sure yet if it's too early. They come over to me and they was like, can we have an ice cream? I looked at the time, it was like 11 o'clock and I was like, I don't know, go and ask Auntie. And they was like, Auntie said to ask you. And I was like, okay, go on then, go for the ice cream.
Let's tell, just to make everyone else feel better, because I'm pretty sure probably not all of them, but most kids do this on holiday. Let's tell them what everyone had for breakfast. So they would get up, come down, wouldn't they? But do you know what? I don't know why hotels do this. Actually, at our hotel, they had this kids buffet. And it was really cute, like a really good idea. So the kids could go and kind of help themselves.
No, but it was full of sweets and chocolate.
It was literally a donut wall.
A chocolate fountain.
A chocolate fountain with like maybe, I think there was like one bit, I think there was like strawberries and then it was marshmallows. And then there was like a big bowl of jelly sweets. I was like, hold on, this is meant to be a breakfast buffet. And obviously where it's there, the kids were just like every day. It was Nutella pancakes, donuts, the odd bit of fruit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And then
I think Paul and Arthur were the worst, weren't they? Them two were just like over with like the chocolate crepes, then the donut.
Because the girls were very much eating their fruit first, wasn't they? They was kind of eating into it a little bit, but then it was like before you leave breakfast, there was another buffet which had like all the adult cakes and muffins, and it'd always be like a quick muffin on the way out. And then that's what Billie was saying. So then we get down to the swimming pool, probably about 10:30. Come 11, they're like, "Can we get an ice cream yet?"
But don't you think though, when you're on holiday, you just kind of like, you do let it all slip, don't you? You think,
that's what holidays are for.
Like I suppose even like us as adults, it gets to like 12:30, 1, and me and Mum be like, "Should we have a Bloody Mary?" Like you'd never do that at home, would you? But that's what being on holiday is about, I guess.
You know what the funniest thing is, guys that are listening? Obviously you're listening. I think I've got a bit delirious. The Bloody Mary. So every day, like Billie said, we would say, "Oh, is it time?" Anyway, it was only until the very second from last day of holiday that we realised every Bloody Mary we was having at 12:30, 1 o'clock was actually a virgin Bloody Mary.
Can you imagine the disappointment?
The disappointment, because we actually thought they was really nice, but it was really spicy, wasn't it? So we wouldn't have known anyway whether there was vodka in it or not. But we did think, didn't we? I didn't get any kind of like little feeling of
like woohoo, like
at all,
tipsy or
anyway. What a disappointment. Then it was the second from last day, and then our friend Sam, who was away with us, he was like, "I'm going to oversee the Bloody Mary making to make sure everyone gets a good beverage of vodka in it." It was like, "Yes, please, Sam." Although we had like, a few drinks like in the afternoon and maybe a couple of dinner and stuff, we didn't actually get drunk once. It was quite full on holiday, wasn't it? To actually let our hair down.
Well, this is what I was just going to say. Obviously, this was my first holiday of 3 children.
Yeah.
It, like, a few people would text me saying, "Oh, I hope you're having the most relaxing time. Enjoy this time off." I was thinking, relaxing?
It's not relaxing.
Definitely not. Right, when you've got 3 children, I think it is a bit of a game changer as well, going 2 to 3 on holiday, and their babies. Obviously, it's great because the other two, they can... Like you say, like they had freedom, they can swim, they was wandering around, had each other. But Samantha, me and you, I don't think our bums touched the sun lounger to lay in the sun once. Like, you don't, do you?
I didn't. Only unless I was breastfeeding and you was bottle feeding. That was the only time we sat on the sun lounger.
in the shade. We'd obviously be in the shade. We didn't. I don't feel like we ever laid in the sun, did we?
Do you know what? Let's just not sugarcoat it. Like, a holiday with with a baby is not relaxing. It is lovely. It's amazing. It's great to get them, in the sunshine, and you make all these lovely memories and whatever else. But it is actually easier being at home. That's the truth, isn't it?
Completely. Like, because you have more of a routine at home. You've got places to like put them or like, entertain them. It is a bit more tricky on holiday, especially like when it's hot. Because you need to have them in the shade.
That's it, being in the shade. And I found it quite hard, especially with Edward, where he's eating a lot more now, was actually food. Because when I'm at home, obviously I cook my little bits up. I've got my blender at hand. I've got other little bits and bobs. When you're actually abroad, it's quite hard. No one really caters for a baby when they're weaning. That's like something that's missing in restaurants. There's a kids menu, but you're not going to give your children your baby burger and chips. It's just not like, it's that in-between stage. And in the end, I think he probably had bolognese every lunchtime.
Yeah, he loved
really small.
But
that was probably the only thing that I could sort of cut up.
That is so true, actually. Even if like most hotels should offer like a
blended menu,
even things like
purees
or like a vegetable, a sweet, like a puree.
That's it.
Like different purees, different fruit purees, vegetable puree. Like, it's so simple to make as well.
I think what they should have, and if anyone that works in a hotel, this should be a good option, is whatever is. I think they should have blenders for babies, because a lot of the time hotels say, "Oh no, we can't blend that in our blenders because it's not for that." It's like, okay, well, why don't you get a specific blender that is only for babies when parents ask? Do you know what I mean? So like if I was
baby blender.
basically. So I found that quite tough because my milk has gone shum. Oh, and I had my first period. Do we celebrate?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I know. How mad is that?
the day we were travelling home of all days, it was so this was obviously my first period in 18 months. So even that is like a big kind of marker to say, right, your baby's not a baby really anymore. Your baby's eating food and booby is comfort.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
so
true.
it's like, so I found that quite tough. And Edward cut 2 teeth on holiday, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got now 2 front teeth. Well, you can't really see them, but they've cut through. And I had 3 nights on the holiday where I just did not sleep at all. And I remember waking up in the morning, being at breakfast, like wired, because I was like, he hasn't slept. And that was why. So not only have I...
He was teething, wasn't he, quite a lot towards the end of the holiday?
A lot. So what happened was he was obviously teething, so he wanted booby a lot, and there wasn't a lot of milk there, so he was getting a bit frustrated. Anyway, and he bit me twice bad, didn't he, for like teething and frustration.
Yeah.
So, yes. I wouldn't say it was my easiest holiday.
Yeah, I do. I think it was... I mean, it was amazing. We had so much fun. We went to some really great places as well. You'll probably be able to see on our Instagram some of the things we've done out there. But also, I feel like for me, going on holiday now, it's all about the daytimes. Like, we actually spent most evenings in our, like, we didn't really go out a lot at night, did we? We'd be like more chilled, get room service. Like, the ordeal of getting all the kids ready and getting ourselves ready and getting out, it took longer than the night out itself. I just think holidays with kids, it is all about the days. Have a few sundowners and then like either eat straight from like the pool or the beach.
Yeah,
or
I agree.
Sometimes just easier getting room service depending on...
Well, also what we had in our situation was quite good because we basically had 3 rooms all behind one closed door. So it was like an apartment basically, wasn't it, for the kids? And it was just all brilliant. Running about together the whole time. They loved it. So actually, I think me, you and Mum went for one dinner. We went for a curry, didn't we? On like the second night, I think it was. Which was we had Margot with us, didn't we?
The whole holiday we was talking about trying to
do
have
a girls' night. It just didn't happen.
Just go out for dinner, just us, without any kids or babies. But no, it did not happen.
The boys had a couple, didn't they?
The boys had, of course they did.
Of course they did. But actually, I guess this is what we knew. We knew this holiday was going to be for the kids. It is full on. It is tiring, but we had the best time. Like we went to the water park. Yas Water Park World is amazing. Warner Bros. The boys took all the kids to Warner Bros, didn't they? They loved that.
Yeah.
And what else did we
Nuri
get up
Island.
to?
That was amazing.
That
wasn't
was amazing.
That was almost like a mini Maldives of Abu Dhabi, and we got like a boat over there. So the kids loved it, and then they had like this amazing splash pad there. They had the beach. They had swimming pools, like restaurants, bars. It was lovely, wasn't it? That was really nice.
Yeah, that was really gorgeous. A nice little day trip.
I was filming out there for part of the holiday.
That actually feels like a really long time ago now. Do you know what I mean? How weird is that? I think because the holiday was like cut into 2.
Yeah, so the first part of the holiday we filmed, and that was so full on because we was filming from the minute we got up, basically. Yeah. Until we went to bed, but obviously with breaks in between. But it's just when you're filming and you're on a holiday, sometimes you kind of feel like at the end of it. I mean, it was nice because we got like 5 days without film crew. Yeah, which meant we could relax a bit more,
a little bit more. And obviously it was Valentine's Day when we was out there. Not that there was any kind of Valentine. It was funny actually because the day it was Valentine's, I think did the kids go to Warner Bros? No, we'd been at the water park in the daytime, didn't we?
Yes, Valentine's Day. We went to the water park.
So we went to Valentine's Day at the water park. But that was so fun. And obviously, it was also Mum's birthday when we was out there, which was great. So we surprised Mum, didn't we, with a cake and a present and some bits. And the kids had drawings and stuff.
And her friend who lives in Dubai, Sarah, she come down and surprised Mum, which Mum loved. I think Mum needed like that bit of time, didn't she, of her friend as well, because obviously Mum's amazing and like, you know, the kids love her, but even mum, like Nanny Suzie, Nanny Suzie, Nanny Suzie constantly, isn't it? So
It's
it was quite nice for mum to have her friend there for a couple of days. And
what was I going to say? Oh, the water park. This was so fun. So mum's not really into like heights or slides or anything kind of exhilarating. And we took mum on this water slide, didn't we? And it was the funniest thing. I've actually got the video.
oh, the
Mum
build up
sounds-
to it.
The build up was just hilarious. So it was like this big round rubber ring, and you sit. We had to get this guy come on with us because they had to like balance out the weight. Anyway, Mum, you know, like Marv from Home Alone when he's been electrocuted. I think that's who he said she sounded like.
That's what she did sound like.
I've actually got the video. I think you can hear it. It was the funniest
like,
thing, wasn't it, Billie?
Wasn't it? Like,
But it's actually quite scary for a water slide. Like, I was not expecting it to be like that.
No, it wasn't. But I think the one that I went on that was worse was at the Atlantis, the bar,
Right, the one,
thing
yeah.
that we took the kids on that we never expected it to be. But that was, yeah, it was really, because when you was going backwards in that slide, but Mum was so nervous, right? So Mum was like nervous talking to a stranger on the way up there.
You can hear it. Wait.
Yeah.
It's a little bit because it's echoing in the tunnel, but she was screaming, wasn't she? It was the funniest thing. We was like sliding into your 54th birthday.
But then afterwards, she had like an adrenaline rush, didn't she? And she loved it.
Yeah, she did. This episode is sponsored by Skin and Me.
You guys know how obsessed we are with our skincare. We talk about it all the time on the podcast.
We always think that if your skin is feeling good, then it just makes such a difference to how you feel in general.
Exactly. And if you want to focus specifically on your skincare, then you should give Skin and Me a try.
Skin and Me is a personalised skincare solution that focuses entirely on your skin-specific needs.
This means that the solution is completely tailored to you and your skin, and it's all packaged up in their award-winning Daily Doser, which is also personalised with your name written on it.
The Daily Doser is great. It basically makes sure that you have the exact amount of cream that you need to use every evening so that you're not wasting a load of unnecessary product. Also, we should add that all products are sustainable, vegan and cruelty-free.
All you need to do to get started is take an online consultation, and a member of Skin and Me's expert team of dermatologists will tailor a personalised solution that targets your skin goals. So that can be anything from clearing acne, pigmentation, fine lines, wrinkles and more.
So, of course, we have a discount for you. You can get your first month for just £3.50 with the code SAMANDBILLIE, where it's normally £24.99 per month.
And you can reformulate your solution at any time for free as your skin evolves.
So to get started with Skin and Me, just visit their website, skinandme.com, and use our code SAMANDBILLIE to get your first month for just £3.50. So, what are you up to this week then? Back off holiday? Have you got filming? What's your plans this week?
Yeah, I've got filming this week. I've got a shoot for Insta. I've got a few meetings. Like, it's quite. I've got a really busy couple of work months coming up now. Anyway, so I've also got Greg's birthday, which is next Monday.
Oh, what are you doing for Greg's birthday?
Well, so I said to him, I was like, oh, what are we doing for your birthday? Like, what do you want to do? Blah, blah, blah. Like, obviously we're filming as well, so they obviously want to feature it. I heard him talking to one of his friends about going to Amsterdam, right? So didn't think anything of it. I just thought, and then he sort of hinted it at me, and I was like, okay, well, if you're going to do that, obviously let the film crew know. They can go and film it. Anyway, so he was like hinting about it, talking about, oh, Amsterdam. Oh, I'd love to go to Amsterdam. And I was thinking, but he didn't actually say to me, oh, I'm going to go to Amsterdam for my birthday. Or anyway, so didn't really think anything of it. He still hasn't, not saying that he has to ask me, right? But if you're a family and you both work, you've got 3 kids, you're filming a TV show together, I would never, ever book a trip, basically, without telling Greg and be going 3 days later. Would you?
It's impossible. You couldn't anyway.
Could you
There has to be
imagine?
Communication. Could you imagine just being like, oh, I'm
Could
off to
you
Santa Fe for
imagine?
the weekend?
Such
It's
double
just-
standards. So
Yeah.
anyway, so this morning, his phone's on charge. I've taken his phone off, put my phone on charge, I've seen a message come up saying like Amsterdam crew, right? Amsterdam crew.
So
like
it's already started.
a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
So he's going to Amsterdam basically, but he hasn't even told me or asked me. So I've just not said a word.
So when is it? Next
said he's going this Friday.
Oh, how long? So how long for?
I don't know, but he hasn't told me. But I know he's going on Friday because I overheard him speaking about, we could go Friday, and the Amsterdam crew, or Amsterdam trip, or whatever the WhatsApp group is called, has confirmed it. But I've just kept silent. I haven't said a word. But I just can't believe he hasn't had the audacity. Well, he's had the audacity, to book a trip 3 days later without even telling me.
No.
Come on, what's your thoughts?
I don't think that's
would Paul do that?
Side.
Would Paul do that? Would he book a trip knowing that you're both working, you're both filming, you've got 3 children, an 11-week-old baby?
Yeah.
He would.
He would.
What, without even saying to you, look, I am going to book this trip. These are my flight details. Is this all right?
Yeah, he would say that. So there's a trip coming up to Amsterdam. How weirdly, it's one of his friends' birthdays, and they've been trying to get a little Amsterdam boys a couple of days in, or whatever. And it's been going on for ages, but it's not actually happening now because we ended up going to Abu Dhabi. So actually, he's not going on this trip. But that was sort of creeping up. And
well, how do you know? He might be going with Greg on Friday.
Oh yeah, this is it. Actually, double check who's in that WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I need to look on the look on the.
But if that's the case, then he hasn't mentioned anything to me. But no, they do. I think that they do. They just do, don't they? Like, we would never in a million years do that. Well, first of all, we just couldn't. I mean, we're going to Paris in the end of April, right? We booked that in December.
We booked it before December. It's been planned for about 6 months. And I've had to also arrange to get Greg's mum over to help him out. Like, so he's got all hands on deck.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to do the same.
It's all fully arranged, and he's had 6 months' notice.
That's what I mean. So that's just for us to have 2 nights in Paris. So, and for them just to be like, well, yeah, I'm off to Amsterdam, blah, blah, blah. But I guess I'm totally on your side, and I get it. But then just bank it. Just bank that, don't forget it. And just... So is this Friday?
But I've got so many banked on Greg. I need to start writing them down in notes on my phone.
You need to start writing notes. You're going to forget.
No, because that's the thing, I will forget. And then when it comes to if I want to do something, it's like... So, yeah.
So he's off to Amsterdam for his birthday.
Yeah, so I don't actually know what we're doing. And it's quite funny because I've had crew, text me this morning, film crew, saying like, what's the plan for Greg's birthday? Are you planning anything nice? And I thought, well, not now, I'm not, no.
You should send him them the flight details and say, this is what he's doing. Make sure you get your flight sorted.
Yeah, shouldn't I?
This episode is sponsored by Gousto.
Do you feel like you're constantly asking everyone, what do you want for dinner?
All the time, and no one can decide, but using Gousto has made things a lot easier. Gousto is a recipe box that gives you everything you need to make healthy home-cooked meals. They have over 250 different recipes a month to choose from, and all of the ingredients get delivered straight to your door.
There's so much choice on there, so you don't have to have the same meals over and over again. Also, it makes it easy to plan your meals for the week.
Exactly. Gousto's ingredients are all high quality, so it's nice to have a simple home-cooked healthy meal for you and the kids. And the recipes are easy to make.
The step-by-step guides make it so easy to follow. I might even get Greg to give the cooking a go the next time we use Gousto. Surely even he won't be able to mess it up.
That would make a nice change. Maybe I'll get Paul to do the same.
All the ingredients are pre-portioned, so there is zero food waste, and there are loads of healthy options on there to pick from. Lots of pasta dishes, salads, soups, and some nice simple curry recipes too.
So if you want to make easy, fresh, home-cooked meals with high-quality ingredients, then give Gousto a try.
You can use our promo code SAMANDBILLIE to get 60% off your first box and 25% off all boxes for 2 months.
So head to gousto.co.uk and use code SAMANDBILLIE for 60% off your first box and 25% off all boxes for 2 months.
That's Gousto.co.uk. Enjoy.
Right, okay, so moving on, this is quite funny. Remember last week we spoke about beef in the soft play and how easy it is to have arguments, right? So we asked our listeners to send in some stories, and actually there's some really funny ones. So Lindsay said, a child took a massive poo at the top of the soft play and it slid down. The mum refused to clean it up. No, that is nobody. It is nobody's job to clean up your child's poo, especially when you're out in public like that.
Oh my God, you'd be mortified, wouldn't you? You'd be straight over there with the baby wipes, wouldn't you? Like you'd just clean it and then get loads of bleach and. Oh my God, why wouldn't
who does that? Who refuses to clean it up?
Their own child's poo.
Yeah, like no one is expected to do that with their own child. Right, Amy said, my daughter had a little boy kick her in the back. So I told the boy off and his dad too. Oh no. I bet that happens often, doesn't it? Like a bit of fighting, or I think one of my friends, was it you that told me this story? Or was it one of my friends that someone in the soft play bit their child?
No, it wasn't me.
Argument.
But yeah, I can.
God, could you imagine?
Can totally see how that happens though, because you would be upset, wouldn't you, if someone else hurt your child? Oh
yeah, absolutely. There's always a baby/child with a dirty nappy that the parent isn't changing. They're so true. You can always smell like a shit somewhere, and you think, change the poor kid's nappy.
But also, when you walk into a soft play, it just smells like poo, doesn't it? Like I'm yet to find one that smells really nice.
Me and Paul think that nappy bags have a bit of a pooey smell as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I do. I know what you mean. I quite like the smell of nappy sacks. I like it.
It's almost like a baby pooey. But yeah, anyway, it smells I know what you mean. Yeah, changing room. Right. My son is a redhead, and I heard another mum shout, "It was him, the ginger one." Oh, that's ridiculous. That is just so ridiculous. Oh my God. I wonder what he done. It was him. Look what else we got here. Lucy said, my son was potty training and had been doing so well. We braved soft play and he couldn't get down quick enough and ended up having an accident. It trickled onto the child below. The nan confronted me. It was so embarrassing. Oh, yeah, but at least you're aware of it and you're probably sorry. Like, that obviously was an accident.
And the thing is, that is pure accident. Like, can you imagine all like the dilemmas that have been at soft plays over the years? I bet there's been so many.
They should make a show on it. Right, you read the one from Sharon. Okay. Shannon, sorry.
We were at a local upmarket soft play on a farm, all neutral colours, love it. After chasing my 16-month-old around for an hour, I took her back to the table and my shoes were gone. I saw some child throwing my sandals down the slide into a ball pit. Now that would really bug me, but what do you do? I tried to locate their mum, but couldn't work out who it was. So I went up to the kid and said, "Excuse me, I think you're playing with my shoes." She looked at me and said, "They're mine now." "No, they're not. They're bloody Tory Birch ones." I asked her to take me to her mum or dad and she screamed, "Help me." Her mum runs over asking what's wrong. I explain she throws the sandals on the ground. And storms off. Stick to the tacky £5 ball pits in future. Oh, how funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I would do that. I would just go straight up to the child. I wouldn't even waste my time finding the mum. I'd just go, "Oh, can I have my shoes back, please?"
Yeah, or you just take them.
And just take them. Yeah. Thank you. Mine.
Thank you. Yeah, that is so funny. Oh my gosh. You could just imagine it, can't you? I've actually got a few dilemmas that have come in as well. So I don't know if you want to... Actually, no, we've got a dilemma that's come in. Do you want to have a little read?
Yes. I have three beautiful boys who I love with all my heart. My partner doesn't want any more kids, but I'm still longing to try for a daughter. He has made comments about getting the snip and he doesn't want any more. I'm too scared to bring it up with him. I don't think I'll ever stop wanting a daughter. I just don't know how will ever resolve it. I know I'm so lucky to have 3 gorgeous, healthy babies, but in my heart, I really want a girl. What should I do? That's so really tricky tough. Because it's tough because you're not going to, it's not guaranteed that you'll have a girl.
That's the main thing. That's the main, like, issue, realistically, because you just don't know. It's 50-50. And obviously it seems like your partner's done, which kind of understandable. 3 children is a lot, we both know. And they're healthy, and that is just a really tough one, because as a woman and as a mum, and obviously you're very maternal, I can understand exactly why you probably want to go for one more, but it's just not knowing, because you're not going to know that it's going to be a girl. I think that's the only problem.
And also I do think with children, you both have got to be on the same page, and you both have got to want another baby. And listen, I know in certain situations, it might not have gone to plan, as you might have a child and your partner wasn't expecting it or whatever. But I think if you can both be on the same page with it, I think it'd probably make life a lot easier. And I think as well, especially knowing that you're not going to guarantee have a girl, is quite it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot to consider, isn't it, before just making that decision.
Yeah. Okay, so on to Ask Us Anything. Should we do a couple of these? 1 or 2? We'll do one. We've got time for one of these. Right, okay. Okay, what housework job do you hate doing the most? Mine, hands down, is putting away the clean washing.
Same. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Knickers, vest, uniform.
It is the worst job, isn't it?
And it's just the worst. And
and there's nothing even satisfying about it. There's nothing satisfying about putting away the washing.
No, and also
unpacking.
So at the moment, I've currently got I only have a cleaner 1 day a week on a Monday, and it's a full day. But then the rest of the week it just builds up. So you kind of have to do. I have to do it, because otherwise it just is. By Saturday the house is an absolute bombs hit it. But I'm on the hunt for somebody to have a few more days a week in the house. It is impossible with work, the children, the baby. Like it's I'm drowning in bloody washing, and
the washing is next level as well for baby, because you probably change like the muslins. Margot's quite a sicky baby, so it's always loads of bibs, muslins, probably about 4 or 5 changes a day some days, like because of the sick.
Also,
and she gets wet.
With the kids at school as well, like I don't know about yours, but they've got their uniform, then they have their sports kit, and then they have another kit, 3 pairs of trainers, and then Paul has like martial arts, fencing, all these different costumes and outfits, and I'm like, it's just so much. The children now, you think it gets easier because they're at school. Actually, the logistics of being at school and clubs and the kids' parties is just takes over, doesn't it?
Completely.
It's crazy. Right, okay, that's everything. We got through it. Margot has been such a good girl.
Woo! She's gone into a little deep sleep now. She'll probably wake up now. Oh, but yes, I'm glad I was able to do that, because I just wanted to concentrate, and you just can't. She's at the age now where she's obviously not that tiny, tiny little baby anymore.
And what I'll try and do, guys, is try and get the video up of Mum on the water slide, because it is worth the watch.
Oh, yes. Tune into that one. See Suzie.
Right, I'm going to go carry on unpacking, so I will probably speak to you later, but we'll see you next week, guys.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.